Good afternoon, and thank you all for coming out today for the first of the Carbon Conversations series. I am Dr. Mike Alcott, and I have the honor of serving Trent University as director of the Trent International Program and the head of Champlain College. Today's event, the Carbon Conversations, Charting a Sustainable Future, is co-sponsored by the Trent Center for Biomaterials Research and Champlain College. As a part of Champlain's Across the River Dialogue series, the Carbon Conversations typify what is most promising about the Collegium of Trent University. Talking together and building meaningful relationship through substantive and purposeful dialogue is what we know in the academic context as friendship. And recent research has shown that friendship is one of the keys to retention of undergraduates and success of the university enterprise. When we accomplish friendship across the river, that is, between the perspectives of the arts and sciences, between the multiple perspectives of a university community, between students and faculty in collegial relationship, then we continue to build upon the promise and the magic of a remarkable university like Trent University. That's why Champlain is sponsoring this particular event, and I'm really, really happy to be able to rely on the leadership of Suresh and our faculty to make it happen. I'm going to introduce Trent's Vice President for Research, Neil Emery, to officially open the Carbon Conversation series. And then the order of events will go, I will introduce formally all 5 of our panelists. Each of them will have about 5 minutes to speak. And after each of the panelists has spoken, I'll ask them to sit up here and we'll engage in dialogue amongst them and Q&A dialogue with the audience. So, Neil?
Thanks, Mike. It's very exciting today to see the Trent Center for Biomaterials Research hit its stride not only in research, which is going great guns at the moment, but also in outreach. And I think we can make just as large an impact in this area. What you'll see today in the first Carbon Conversations, like Mike alluded to, is truly interdisciplinary. You'll see a panel that will look at that encompasses expertise not only on the development of fossil fuel alternatives, but where these fit in economically and culturally, and where, when, and if these will actually be adopted by society. So it gives me great pleasure. I'm proud to open the first Carbon Conversations. Thanks very much.
I'm going to give an introduction to all of the panelists before we start to invite them up here. And I'll begin with Dr. Suresh Narayan, who is the director of Trent University's Center for Biomaterials Research and professor of physics and astronomy and chemistry here at Trent University. Named one of Canada's top 40 under 40 in 2011, Professor Narayan came to Canada and to Trent University as a TIP scholar from Guyana. That means a Trent International Program scholar, and that's not the way they always write his bio, but I'm speaking today. He is an internationally renowned expert in biomaterials whose work focuses on the utilization of plant oils to create environmentally friendly materials. He is the author of 2 seminal textbooks in the area of lipid crystallization and co-author of numerous scientific publications and patents. He holds both an Ontario Research Chair in Green Chemistry and Engineering from the Council of Ontario Universities in collaboration with the Ontario Ministry of the Environment, and a Senior Industrial Research Chair in Biomaterials from the Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council of Canada. That's in partnership with Elevance Renewable Sciences Incorporated and the Grain Farmers of Ontario. Suresh, I have to say, could be an example of Canada's brain drain of the developing world. Trent initially gave him a very generous scholarship to come here and study with us, and then cultivated him under the mentorship of Al Slavin. I saw Al here. And really, that kind of relationship and friendship is what made it possible for Suresh to become one of the world's leaders in this area. But Suresh does not just dedicate his life to building possibility here in Canada. He's built one of the most remarkable research centers in the developing world at the University of Guyana, and he's now the director of Guyana's Institute of Applied Science and Technology there. Dr. Raul Ponce Hernandez will be our next panelist. Raul is an associate professor of geography and environmental science and is the director of GeoRestlar, the Applied Geomatics, Remote Sensing, and Land Resources Laboratory here at Trent. He is a member of the working group on afforestation, reforestation of Clean Development Mechanism for the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. His current research focuses on the sequestration of black carbon in agricultural soils. Yes, I have a PhD in English literature, so some of these words are special for me. Dr. Laura Sommerfeld is an associate professor in the Department of Psychology and a member of the Sustainability Studies and Quantitative Modeling graduate programs here at Trent. She's also a licensed clinical psychologist. She's been on faculty at Trent since 2000 and does research on the bridges between normal and disordered human emotions, cognition and behavior, particularly as they relate to anxiety. I was tickled to find this note in her bio online. A specific focus has been upon a particular feature of obsessive-compulsive experience, the feeling that things are not just right. My friend Asaf Zohar is an associate professor and chair of Business Administration program here at Trent University. He's also the current and founding chair of the Masters in Sustainability Studies program at Trent. Professor Zohar plays a leadership role in promoting sustainability in both undergraduate and graduate studies. His teaching focuses on sustainable strategic management and corporate social responsibility, in which social and environmental issues are taken as the strategic domain for economic value creation. Asaf is also the founding national chair of Canadian Academics for Peace in the Middle East, and he serves as a visiting scholar and adjunct faculty at the Arava Institute for Environmental Studies in the Negev Desert in Israel. Professor Stephen Bocking is the chair of the Environmental and Resource Science Studies program at Canada's leading undergraduate, environmental studies program here at Trent University. His research and work focus on the roles of science in environmental policy and politics, environmental history, and the history of science. It's my great pleasure to work with Stephen because he's such a caring and effective teacher and leader, and because his language and his history of science work shows to me an elegance of dialectics and discursive analysis that a guy with a PhD in literature can really appreciate.